Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Luxury Podcast, your source for all things luxury and lifestyle. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Samed Yadegari on the line, and he is co-founder over at Dynsty. Samed, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. It's great to be on.
All right, so I'm excited to get into Dynsty and some of your plans for the brand. But before we get into that, let's go a little bit further in your background. So how did you get started in your career as an entrepreneur?
Sure thing. First of all, thanks for having me on the show. So actually, my background is in branding and digital marketing and advertising. I've been working in the industry for almost 10 years. I've also been able to work in different countries. I took a leap of faith and basically moved to multiple countries to focus on learning how to master branding and digital marketing. And after a while, I decided to take some time off of work to work on a few entrepreneurship ideas I had. And sure enough, it was launched. We launched Dynsty. Me and my two other co-founders were able to come together and put together not only a business plan, but I think a great idea that's a company that's giving back as a social enterprise.
Man, that's exciting. And I love to see it when multiple co-founders get together and then they also throw in the social enterprise component to the mix. I think it's a great recipe. So let's just jump right in. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing at Dynsty, please.
Sure thing. So Dynsty is an urban clothing company that's focused on bringing about change. So the whole idea is how do we work together with different communities to help make a difference? And we truly believe that our apparel is the difference. So it's a pretty simple business idea. The idea is that by people wearing their favorite gear, purchasing their favorite gear and wearing it, they're able to start a conversation with their friends and their families and hopefully anyone they see on the streets, because we really think that our designs are very unique in that when people see the designs, it grabs their attention, and so they say, "Oh, what are you wearing?" And so hopefully that starts a conversation, and it results in them spreading the love and spreading the awareness that we want to raise for the different communities. And once again, we are a social enterprise, which means that we're a company that is looking to address needs and focus on solving social problems.
So tell us a little bit more about the design and what goes into that.
Sure thing. So the bigger idea we have in the long run for Dynsty is to really bring about not only change in communities, but help artists and intellectuals from all realms to shine. So for our first collection, I'll give you an example, is our Queen collection, which is helping combat sexual assault. As you probably know, it's a global epidemic that affects almost 20% of women worldwide, which is crazy. I mean, we were looking at these numbers when we were first getting into Dynsty and building out our collections, and some of the figures out there, especially with the pandemic that's going on now, there's a lot of rise in domestic violence. And so me and my co-founders were really sitting there and thinking, how can we help? I mean, there's a lot of communities out there that need awareness and they need attention. So what we started doing is we got in touch with different models that we believe are modeling based off of true beauty and elegance rather than, unfortunately, a lot of times, especially with clothing, you see clothing that portrays a model and beauties through showing their skin. And so what we did is we got in touch with models from around the world and we, pitched them the idea, and they were super excited to work with us. And our background, me and my partners being in marketing and branding, was able to work with different designers, again, from different backgrounds, and bring those designs and those photographs to life.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And so what's been some of the response you've gotten from the brand and from the customers? I mean, tell us a little bit more about the feedback you've received so far.
It's great you asked that. So our core audience are men, which especially when we were focusing on our first collection, the Queen collection, when we would have discussions or chats with friends and family, or even people that I had never discussed this with, just like yourself, we would pitch the idea to them and tell them that, we're starting a business that's focusing on woman empowerment, and we're focusing on men. We're targeting men. And at first, everyone would give me the same look, which is sort of shocked and surprised, and they say, well, why wouldn't you target to women? But the idea is that we think there's a lot of people out there, there are a lot of men out there who not only care about women empowerment, but they want to find different avenues and channels to voice that opinion. And I don't think there's enough attention and there's enough options for them to do that. So that was one of the first ways that we were getting a lot of initial feedback about how great it is that a brand is trying to look outside of the box and try to give people the option and the voice to talk about what they care about.
Wow, what a great idea! I love the angle. And I love what your thought process behind it. And I could see that being the initial thing, like, wait a minute, like somebody would want to say, what? Wait a minute, but it makes sense after you think about it. Like for a moment or two, you're like, well, we all have mothers at some point, and maybe we have sisters or aunts, other people, and so we do care. And this is a great way to bring it out and to kind of put it in the culture without necessarily making it the focal point or combative or something else. It does it in another way. It makes it cool. It makes it acceptable or fun, so to speak. And you're also the conversation piece aspect of it. Man, I really love what you're doing. I think you definitely have an interesting concept. So what's next? What's next for Dynsty? I mean, tell us what kind of plans you have on the horizon.
Sure thing. So far, actually, before we get into what's next, so when we launched the Clean Collection, this was actually our company launch officially in third week of March. So it's almost been 2 months now. And so when we launched, there were little talks of the pandemic going on, and sure enough, in about I think it was just around like a week or 2 weeks later, the talks about the pandemic started rising, and so we thought as a startup, we didn't have enough funds like a lot of these larger companies to produce masks and work on producing manufacturing ventilators. So we had a discussion with the team, and we thought, how can we help during this time? Our brand is all about giving back and making a difference. So we put together a new collection called the Relief Collection, where we decided that for this specific collection, 100% of our profits will go to people, kids and families across the world who can't access food, shelter, and vital information during this time. So we partnered with United Way. We got in touch with them, and they were pleased to hear about it. And so as of 3 weeks ago, we've been working with them on this specific collection. And moving forward, again, we're looking to empower different communities. So one of the next collections we're working on is with artists. We're calling this one the Craft Collection. This is just exclusive. I haven't told this to anyone outside the organization, so now you know. And we're working with artists from around the globe, again, gone in touch with different types of artists, and we'll be featuring them on our clothing to help create that community, to give them another channel, another voice to showcase the beautiful work that they're doing.
Oh, man, this is amazing. It just keeps growing. This is awesome, Ahmed. So that being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Dynsty or to connect with you and the brand, I mean, what's the best way for them to get involved and to learn more? Sure
thing. So obviously they can refer to our website, which is thedynsty.com. Dynsty being spelled Dynasty. We are an urban clothing company, and that our branding is part of that. But the best way, I would think, Adam, to really learn about our brand and see what sort of art we're creating. Really, we call it art. It's not really clothing because it's so magical and beautiful. So they can refer to our Instagram page because the visual representation of the brand is great. And so that's just the handle is the Dynasty, again spelled Dynsty.
Fantastic. Well, Samad, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background as an entrepreneur and all the great stuff that you're doing over at Dynsty to help out also during the pandemic. I mean, just great stuff you're doing all around. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Luxury, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Samad, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks again, Adam. It was a pleasure.